The Mi-6, given the article number izdeliye 50 and company designation V6, was a Soviet-Russian heavy transport helicopter that was designed by the Mil Design Bureau. It was built in large numbers for both military and civil roles. Design and development: the Mi-6 resulted from a joint civil-military requirement for a very large vertical lift aircraft, which could be used to add mobility in military operations as well as assist in the exploration and development of the expansive central and eastern regions of the USSR. Flown for the first time on June 5, 1957, the Mi-6 was the first Soviet turboshaft-powered production helicopter. The R7 gearbox and rotor head developed for the project have a combined weight of 3,200 kilograms, which is greater than the two turboshaft engines. Variable incidence winglets were first mounted on the craft's sides in 1960 to the 30 pre-series units. These wings provide approximately 20% of the lift required during cruise flight. The Mi-6 was by far the world's largest helicopter when it was designed in 1954, a Euro 56. With a maximum load capacity of 12,000 kilograms. It was also the world's fastest helicopter, with a top speed of 300 km per hour. In its early days, the Mi-6 set many world records, including one for sheer circuit speed at 340 km per hour. As of 2013, the Mi-6 still holds the FAI record of fastest 5-ton lift over 1,000 km, in which it flew 284 km per hour in 1962. From 1959, a Euro 72, a total production of at least 500 were built for various general transport, utility, firefighting and flying crane duties, the last two subtypes not being fitted with the large fixed wings which in other versions bear part of the lift in cruising flight and thus enable higher speeds to be attained. The twin nose wheels and large low-pressure main wheels do not retract. Normally flown by a crew of 5 or more, the Mi-6 seats 65 armed troops and can alternatively carry 41 stretcher patients and 2 attendants, or a wide range of bulky loads, including vehicles, loaded through rear clamshell doors. In exercises, fleets of these aircraft have airlifted many kinds of weapons, including Frog 7 rockets on their PT-76 tracked chassis, as well as large radars and heavy artillery. All Soviet armored personnel carriers, armored cars and light mechanized infantry combat vehicles can be carried. The CIA's Interstate Aviation Committee cancelled the Mi-6's type certificate in October 2002 after the crash of a A21074 in the Taimi Peninsula. There have also been reports that the wooden tail rotor blades have reached the end of their service life. Variants. Data from Mil's heavy lift helicopters, Mi-6, Mi-10, V-12 and Mi-26, izdeliye 50, the product or article number for the V6 prototype. V6, Zavod number 329 Moscow, first prototype series. Mi-6, NATO, a Euro Hook A, heavy lift civil and military transport helicopter. Mi-6A, troopships and commercial transport helicopters built to a new baseline standard with improvements in reliability and new avionics. Mi-6AR, NATO, a Euro Hook D, OKB designation for the Mi-6 VZPU and Mi-22 airborne command posts, with SLAR. Mi-6APS, PS, Płaskowo Spasatelne, search and rescue, a limited number of search and rescue helicopters converted from Mi-6A standard aircraft. Mi-6ATZ, TZ, Topливо Zapravщик, fuel tanker, fuel transport helicopter variant of the Mi-6A. Mi-6 Burlak, Burlak, barge hauler, prototype ASW-MCM helicopters, used for research into ASW equipment when delays to the mission equipment forced cancellation. Mi-6 Bus, NATO, a Euro Hook C, airborne command post helicopter of 1975. Mi-6L, also Mi-6LL, Letaushkaya Laboratoria, flying laboratory variant with D-25EF engines used for flight improvements of the Mi-6 and testbed for the power plant of the Mi-12. Mi-6M, M, Morskoy, maritime, anti-submarine variant armed with 4 aerial torpedoes and ASW rockets, and equipped with various experimental ASW systems. first built in 1963 and modified in 1965 for the barge hauler program. Mi-6M, Modified Caravan, modified, a projected redesign of the Mi-6 to carry 11 to 22 t over 800 km, cancelled due to the limitations of the 5-bladed rotor specified. Mi-6P, Passagierski, passenger transport helicopter, with accommodation for 80 passengers. One prototype was converted from a stock Mi-6. Mi-6PP, Postanovskik-Pomik, ECM aircraft, a prototype counter-ELINT aircraft to protect air defense radars from enemy ECM and or ELINT activities. Mi-6PR, Protivodistvo radiorazvik, development in 1962 for Jammer electronic warfare variant. Mi-6PR TBV, Podvizhnaya raketno techniczna baza vertlytnovo type, a few modified as mobile missile maintenance technical bases and missile transporters. Mi-6 picoseconds, PS, Płaskowo Spasatelny, search and rescue helicopter developed in 1966 for pickup of the landed Vostok and Soyuz space modules. Mi-6 PSA, alternative designation, used in some sources, for the Mi-6 APS. Mi-6 PZH, Płatsani, firefighting variant, with a 12,000 L tank in the cabin and 6 1,500 L bags suspended from the fuselage. The sole prototype crashed in France fighting a fire, soon after display at the 27th Paris Air Show. Mi-6 PZH-2, a second firefighting helicopter prototype and several conversions with a steerable water cannon in the nose. Mi-6R, Retranslator specialized radio communications relay variant developed in 1974, prototype conversions only. Mi-6 RVK, Raketno-Vertolyutny Komplex, heliborne missile system, tested in 1965 loaded with 9K-53, 9K-73 9M21 Lunar MV or 8K-114 mobile missile systems. Mi-6S, medical evacuation helicopter, which can carry 41 liters. Mi-6T, NATO a Eurohawk A, military transport helicopter, which can seat up to 70 people on tip-up seats along the cabin sides, with additional seat along the center line. Mi-6TP, convertible freight passenger helicopter. Mi-6TZ, Topливо Zaprevskik, fuel tanker, fuel transport helicopter to refuel vehicles and helicopters on the ground. Mi-6TZSV, Topливо Zaprevskik, Sukhoputny Voyska, fuel tanker ground forces, fuel transport helicopter to refuel vehicles on the ground. Mi-6VR, Vodoli, Aquarius, a water-spraying research helicopter to test helicopter anti-icing systems. Mi-6VKP, NATO a Eurohawk B, command post transport helicopter to deploy comms and war room on the ground, not usable in flight. Mi-6VUS, NATO a Eurohawk D, airborne command post with SLAR. Mi-6VZPU, NATO a Eurohawk D, service designation of the Mi-6AR airborne command post with SLAR, entered service as the Mi-22. Mi-6 developed in 1962 with collapsible Bu-75 BRM drilling rig for oil exploration in Siberia. Exact designation unknown. Mi-6 missile fuel transport to supplement the Mi-6 PRTBV, Mi-6. An experimental conversion in 1976 for testing the rotor system of the Mi-26. Mi-6. An engine test bed, fitted with Soloviev D-25EF engines, as developed for the Mi-12. Mi-22, VVS designation of the Mi-6 ARVZPU airborne command post helicopters. Operators. Military operators Algeria, Algerian Air Force, Belarus, Belarus Air Force, China, People's Liberation Army, Egypt, Egyptian Air Force, Ethiopia, Ethiopian Air Force, Indonesia, Indonesian Air Force, Iraq, Iraqi Air Force, Kazakhstan, Kazakh Air Force, Laos, Laotian Air Force. Peru, Peruvian Air Force, Peruvian Army, Poland, Polish Air Force, Russia, Russian Air Force, Ukraine, Ukrainian Air Force, Soviet Union, Aeroflot, Soviet Air Force, Vietnam, Vietnamese Air Force. Specifications. Data from Jane's All the World's Aircraft 1992 93, General Characteristics, Crew, 6, Capacity, 90 passengers or, 70 airborne troops or, 41 stretcher cases with 2 medical personnel. Payload, 12,000 kilograms of internal cargo, length, 33.18 meters, rotor diameter, 35.00 m, height, 9.86 m, disk area, 962.1 mass squared, empty weight, 27,240 kilograms, loaded weight, 40,500 kilograms, max takeoff weight, 42,500 kilograms, power plant, TUA, Soloviev D25V turboshaft, 4,100 kilowatts each, fuel load, 6,315 kilograms, performance, maximum speed, 300 kilometers per hour, cruise speed, 250 kilometers per hour, range, 620 kilometers, ferry range, 1,450 kilometers, service ceiling, 4,500 m, disk loading, 44.17 kilograms mass squared, power mass, 0.21 kilowatts per kilogram. Facts: test pilot N.B. Leshin has set the world record of speed. This event was awarded by the American Helicopter Society. Small numbers are still in service, most in Siberia plus a small number with the People's Republic of China. The Russian Air Force currently operates 5 Mi-6s. Soviet test pilot and hero of the Soviet Union Yuri Ganilev died in a Mi-6 crash in France while fighting an extensive wildfire. Several contaminated Mi-6s can be found with the thousands of other pieces of equipment in the vehicle graveyards in the Chernobyl disaster alienation zone. See also, related development, Mi-10 Mi-12 Mi-26, aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era. CH-54 TAI/S-64 Skycran, CH-53 Super Stallion, CH-47 Chinook, or copyright Rospartiel Superflin, Kamov Kar-22. References. Gordon, Efim. Dmitry and Sergei Komisarev. Mills Heavy Lift Helicopters, Mi-6, Mi-10, V-12 and Mi-26. Red Star 22. Hinckley, Midland Publishing. ISBN 1-85780-206-3. Monday, David. Encyclopedia of the World's Commercial and Private Aircraft. New York City, Crescent Books. Pages 201. Gordon, Efim, Komisarev, Dmitry and Komisarev, Sergei, Mills Heavy Lift Helicopters. Mi-6 V-12 per Mi-26, Red Star Volume 22, Midland Counties Publications, 2005. External links, Aviation RU information, cockpit pictures. The initial version of this article was based on material from Aviation RU. It has been released under the GFDL by the copyright holder.